Hi, this is Pallavi Verma. In this video, we will see how to implement Singleton Pattern. So let's get started. So first, I'll create a class, and the name of the class could be anything. It's not necessary to give the name of class Singleton. It could be anything. So it's Singleton Test. So Singleton Pattern mainly focuses to avoid the multiple object creation of the class. So there are certain rules that we need to follow to maintain the Singleton pattern. So one of them is making the constructor as private so that object instantiation and object creation could be restricted so that multiple objects cannot be created. So first I'll create a constructor which is private. So the other part on which we need to focus is the loading, whether it is a lazy loading or eager loading. So for this, I will create an object of private static. Since creating the object of the class, so we need to give the name of the object and the variable name, and right now I am keeping it as null. Now I need to create a method which can provide us the object of the Singleton class. So I'll give public static, and why we are making it public static, that I'll tell you later. So the return type of the method is Singleton class, and the name of the method, let's say it's get instance. So whenever we call this get instance, first we need to do a conditional check. If the object is already created, then we need to skip it. Otherwise, we will allow it to create the object. So null check we'll do, which then only we'll allow it to create the object. So it's obj like any other class that we create the object. In the similar way, we need to create the object. If it is null, then only instantiation will happen. And then we need to return the object. So now I'll create one more class. So name of this class, let's say it's Singleton Test Main. You can give as per your requirement. Inside this main method, we'll get the instance and then we will check the hash code of the object. So it's a Singleton test and let's say it's object. So why we made it static? Consider any ordinary class. To access any method, we need to get the object of that class and then we can access the method. But this we cannot do it directly inside this main method. That's why we are forming this Singleton pattern, and within this get instance method only we are creating the object. So obviously this statement is not valid inside this main method. So since we made it static, which means using its class name itself we can access the get instance. So I will take the class name. If I do dot, so you will be able to see if I remove static from here, and now if I check test dot, so we are not able to see the get instance. So that's why we are making it is that we can access the get instance. Now if I log the hash code of the object, so let's say it's object1, so it's object dot hash code. So still the hash code of the Singleton class would be the same for all objects. So let's update it, and object2, and I'll make it as 3, and here it's 3 and object3. Now if I run this class, hash code is same, which means we are not allowing it to create multiple objects. That's why we have given the null check. For the first time it would be null, then it will create the object, but the second time when it will call this get instance, it will go here, the null check would be there, so obviously it will fail and then directly return the object. That's why every time it is returning the same object, and that's why if we check the hash code, so for all the objects that we have created, which is not exactly the object created, that instance that we are checking, so the hash code is exactly no matter how many times we are calling it. I hope you like it. Stay connected.